Hidden gems, stupidly cheap, shockingly underrated bikes you can buy right now. We'll show real-world deals, tight price ranges, and quick checks so you don't get burned. You won't believe how much bike you get for so little. Stick around, because the dirt-capable sleeper lands mid-list, and the do-everything standard takes the top spot. Roaring into number 15, Kawasaki Ninja 500R X500. Lightweight, no-drama twin with cheap speed and big MPG. That's the Ninja 500R in a nutshell. It's the bike we recommend when you want real-world fun, low insurance, and a motor that just won't quit. Why is it so underrated? Bigger Ninjas hog the spotlight, but this one delivers everyday thrills. A friendly parallel twin pulls clean from low revs, spins happily up top, and sips fuel like it's on a diet. Figure mid-50s to low 60s miles per gallon when you ride smart. Commuting, back road loops, weekend skills building, it does it all without attitude. Core virtues: friendly ergos, a forgiving chassis, and a bulletproof engine. The seating triangle is humane, slightly upright bars, sensible peg drop, a seat that won't punish your knees. Suspension is simple but predictable. Steering is light without being twitchy, and the 6-speed box is Honda smooth in a Kawasaki way. It's fast enough to stay ahead of traffic, calm enough to learn on, and cheap enough to drop once without crying. One user shared, "It's a good starter bike. It was my first bike, and I was never afraid of the bike. It could take me past my limits at the time, and possibly even today, depending on how sharp the corner is. It is very a comfortable, easy ride." What to watch for on a used one? Sitting kills carbs. Stale fuel leaves varnish that makes cold starts cranky, and off-idle stumble real. Check for weepy fork seals, brittle intake boots, and tires by date code, not tread. Listen for cam chain noise at hot idle, usually tensioner wear, not a wallet bomb. Inspect the charging leads and REG/REC connections. Clean, tight, and solid is your green light. Fairing tabs and mirror mounts tell the truth about past tip-overs. Straight bars and true wheels mean the chassis stayed happy. Pricing: tight and confident. For the US market, rider grade, well-kept Ninjas typically list between $2,000 and $3,000. Late-run cream puffs, think low-mile stock, documented 2,000 bikes, often bring around 3,500, with truly mint survivors sometimes nudging 4,000. Pay for condition, carb cleanliness, and fresh rubber. Skip loud pipes and hacked airboxes that kill that no-drama charm. From entry-level zip to German smooth, the brick motor triple rolls in next. Unleashing power at number 14, BMW K75. The brick triple with shaft drive, calm, and shocking durability. Smooth, planted, unflappable. That's the K75. It doesn't shout, it just stacks miles. Why so underrated? It's not flashy, no wild plastics, no boy racer stance, but it brings EFI reliability, optional ABS on many years, and that BMW long leg stability at true highway pace. Think stone quiet vibes, turbine pull, and a fairing that turns wind into a soft hush. The kind of ride where you look down, see another 100 miles gone, and feel zero stress. Core virtues hit hard. Fuel injection equals cold starts, that just happened. Shaft drive equals clean pants, low maintenance, and long life driveline manners. The chassis is steady, the brakes are honest, and the cockpit fits taller riders without knee pain. Add factory luggage, and it becomes a real-world tourer that sips miles, not wallets. Service access is sensible, parts support is deeper than you'd think, and the K-bike community knows every trick. Buying smart, Start with rubber. Vacuum lines, intake boots, fuel lines, and radiator hoses age out. Replace and reset the clock. ABS warning lights that won't clear, often traced to a weak battery or dirty wheel sensors. Confirm voltage health first. Ask for spline lube history at the clutch and final drive. A well-lubed spline is forever quiet. Spin the cooling fan by hand on a cold bike. Stuck fans cook radiators in summer. Pixel weird instruments and lazy fuel level senders are common but fixable. Look for clean connectors, not hacked wiring. Pricing in the US stays friendly. Rider grade standards and RT Tourers with records typically land around $2,500 to $4,000. Really tidy, low-mile LT or RT examples with fresh rubber and recent fluids often fetch around $4,500 to $5,000. True projects, faded plastics, sitting for years, should sit under $2,000, leaving room for hoses, tires, and a full baseline service. Pay for documentation, spline proof, and charging health. Skip rattle-canned customs. Quiet, stock, and service is the play. Next up, a rev-happy modern standard with cheap insurance, bulletproof reliability, and everyday speed. Throttle wide open at number 13. Yamaha FZ6. Half-faired standard with Japan reliability, cheap insurance, and rev-happy grin. This is the do-everything middleweight that bosses city commutes, weekend canyons, and light touring with no drama. Why is it underrated? Litter bikes steal the spotlight, but the FZ6 delivers real-world pace and easy ownership. The detuned R6 inline 4 is silky down low and zingy up top, with fueling that behaves and vibes that stay civilized. Add neutral ergonomics, a decent seat height, and wind protection that actually works. And you've got a bike you can ride all day without Advil. Core virtues stack up. The motor is smooth and long-lived, the gearbox is light and precise, and the brakes are solid with fresh pads and lines. Handling is friendly and accurate. Quick to turn, not twitchy, happy on sketchy pavement. It's a true standard. Toss on soft bags, wire a phone mount, aim at the mountains, and go. Oil, chain, tires, done. That's the maintenance rhythm most riders want. One rider shared, "Like many others, I passed my MSF basic course and looked for a practical, sporty, light bike that I would not outgrow too soon." That was 4 years ago. It's easy to operate, fun, good torque, quick, fast when you want it to be. It's reliable and oh my gosh, such a value. What to watch for? Throttle cables on older commuters can fray. Smooth action and clean return are your green light. Charging connectors deserve a peek. Tight, clean, and corrosion-free keeps the stator and reg rec happy. Chains and sprockets wear fast on neglected city miles. Look for hooked teeth or tight spots. Fork seals tell the truth about curb hops. On early fueling maps, some riders felt a slight off-idle snatch. A clean air filter and synced throttles usually tame it. Stock exhaust and unmolested airbox almost always mean less hassle and more life. Pricing sits in a clear band nationwide. Honest rider-grade examples typically list around $2,800 to $4,000, depending on miles, service proof, and rubber. Clean, late S2 updates with fresh tires and documented fluids often bring around $4,200 to $5,000. Low-mile garage queens with tasteful add-ons, screen, rack, crash sliders, can stretch a touch higher, still bargain territory for what you get. Focus on condition, records, and a smooth test ride. Cosmetics are cheap, bad maintenance is not. get ready for old school muscle. On a budget, the oil-cooled sleeper is about to rumble with real-world torque. Revving into number 12, Suzuki Bandit 600 GSF 600. Oil-cooled 4 torque mid-range, simple carbs. This is the budget muscle that keeps showing up. The Bandit 600 isn't flashy. It's the daily grin machine with real parts availability and no drama. Upkeep, upright triangle, decent wind with the S model, strong aftermarket. It's blue-collar fun. You can ride to work all week and rip on Sundays. Why so underrated? It never wore an exotic badge, never chased lap time headlines. But the Sax engine runs cool, pulls hard from the basement, and forgives lazy shifts. Brakes wake up with fresh pads and lines, suspension responds to simple refreshes, and the chassis tracks straight at highway pace. It's a do-it-all standard with old-school character and modern reliability. Smart buyer checks are simple. Pop the seat and inspect the rig/rec connections. Clean, tight, and not toasty is your green light. Cold start should need a little choke, then settle to a steady idle. Hunting revs equals dirty carbs. Roll the throttle gently in neutral. It should pick up clean with no flat spots. Squeeze the front lever. If it feels spongy, budget stainless lines. Look for fork seal mist, chain and sprocket life, and straight rotors. Pricing stays friendly if you shop with your head. In the US, solid rider-grade Bandit 600s typically trade around $2,500 to $3,500. Stock original unicorns with low miles. OEM exhaust and documented service commonly bring $3,800 to $4,200. Clean title, fresh tires, and proof of recent fluids are what push a listing from maybe to buy. Sport Tour speed with adult manners slides in next, and it does it with triple charm. At number 11, Triumph Sprint ST1050. Triple charm, grown-up ergonomics, real pace. The Sprint ST1050 leaves in the VFR shadow, which is exactly why it's a value monster. That 3-cylinder heart serves a big mid-range, a rich exhaust note, and effortless passing power. Add decent wind protection, proper luggage options, and a planted chassis, and you get a sport that actually tours. On the road, it's calm and quick. Neutral steering, strong front brakes, and a cockpit that fits taller riders without knee pain. The motor likes to loaf at legal speeds, then lunges when you roll it on. 2 up, totally doable. Week-long loop, book it. It's that rare blend of speed, comfort, and everyday usability seasoned riders appreciate. Be picky, and you'll win. Charging system health matters. Confirm stator and regulator outputs with a quick meter test so the battery stays happy. Listen to the starter engagement and overall clutch feel. You want crisp bite, not grunge. Make sure the cooling fan cycles, the dash shows no codes, and service records include oil, coolant, and brake fluid dates. A tidy chain run and straight rotors are easy tells. This is the top speed of the Triumph Sprint ST1050. Deals are out there if you act fast. Well-kept Sprint STs in the States typically list around $3,500 to $5,000. Late-run ABS and clean luggage setups often land near $5,500 to $6,000 when documented. Low miles, fresh rubber, and a charging system upgrade make a strong case at the top of the range. It's a lot of motorcycles for used standard money. Small fairing Honda that eats miles on peanuts money is up next. Built-in practicality, zero attitude, all-day comfort. Coming at number 10, Honda NT700V Deauville. Built-in bags, shaft drive, stone-cold reliable. The NT700V earned the Deauville nickname from spec sheet chasers, but riders who rack up miles know the truth. This is Honda's quiet workhorse. Weather protection that actually works, an under-stress V-twin, and clean driveline manners. It's a commuter's dream and a small touring ace. The experience is low-stress and long-haul friendly. Smooth fueling, a broad, usable power band, and a fairing that blocks fatigue. Those integrated panniers mean you're always ready. Groceries on Tuesday, state lines on Saturday. Screw and lock nut valve adjusters keep maintenance easy. And the shaft means no chain mess, no constant lube ritual, just fuel, ride, repeat. Buy with your brain and you'll smile for years. Check the link brake service history. Fresh fluid keeps the lever feel consistent. Inspect cooling hoses and clamps for age. Verify the fan cycles in traffic, and test the pannier latches so they close clean and tight. A short test ride should feel silky at low RPM with no surging and a firm, linear brake bite. Look for tidy wiring, a healthy battery, and recent tires. Prices reward patient shoppers. In the US, commuter mile NTs with honest records commonly list around $3,000 to $4,200. Low-mile tourers with clean plastics, recent fluids, and working luggage typically bring $4,500 to $6,000. ABS, fresh rubber, and a documented valve service justify the top of the range. If you want a low-drama, year-round friend, this is it. Featherweight dual sport with tractor patience is coming up. Simple, steady, ready for dirt connectors and backroad life. Quick gut check. What's your hidden gem under $3,000 that never quits? Drop your miles and the first upgrade you'd bolt on for real comfort. Powering into number 9, Kawasaki Super Sherpa 250. Air-cooled simplicity, low seat, go anywhere, calm. The Super Sherpa is that gentle dual sport that just works. Light clutch, friendly power, 6-speed gearbox, and a chassis that forgives mistakes. It's the bike we toss on a hitch rack, chase forest roads, then commute on Monday with zero drama. Why so underrated? It whispers instead of shouting. Next to louder thumpers, it looks basic, but that's the magic. Under 300 pounds wet, about 32 inches of seat height, and real-world fuel economy in the high 60s to low 70s miles per gallon when you're kind. Screw and lock nut valves mean easy garage time, and parts are cheap and common. Buy smart, ride happy. Walk around for a typical off-road rash. Pegs, cases, and levers tell the truth. Spin the wheels and check the spoke tension and wheel true. Feel the steering head for notching. The carb should hot restart clean with no fuel weeping. If it hunts at idle, plan on a proper clean and sync. Chain slider and guide wear are quick driveway checks. A quiet top end and smooth throttle tip in and green lights. Pricing stays tight and fair. In the US, clean trail-ready Sherpas typically list around $2,800 to $3,800. Extra clean, low-mile examples with service proof often bring $4,000 to $5,000. Tasteful protection, skid plate, handguards, rack, adds value. Loud pipes and hacky jetting usually don't. It's a small bore that pays you back with big peace of mind. Next, we trade dirt manners for an Italian soul. An underrated sport tour with grown-up balance and real value takes the stage. Blazing in at number 8, Ducati ST3. Desmo charm, comfy cockpit, sport tour balance. The ST3 is Ducati's sleeper, the 3-valve L-twin that actually likes distance with luggage, wind protection, and a chassis that feels stable at speed. It's the bike you choose when you want Ducati feel without track rat, posture, or wallet pain. Why so underrated? The Multistrada stole the spotlight, and monsters hog the cafe picks. Meanwhile, the ST3 just quietly delivers. Broad mid-range, planted front end, strong brakes, and ergonomics that keep wrists and knees happy for hours. 2 up? Absolutely. Week-long loop? Bring it. This is an Italian character tuned for real roads. Do your homework, win big. Belts by years, not just miles. Fresh belts are cheap insurance, and a tidy invoice is gold. Desmo valve-proof matters. A stamped record every 16,000 miles, or owner logs, keeps the top end quiet. Check charging health with a meter so the battery stays strong. Many owners upgrade the regulator for long life. Look for clutch slave weep, crisp starter engagement, and a cool running temp on a hot idle. If the dash is clean, fans kick on, and fueling is smooth, you've likely found the right one. Pricing rewards, documented care. In the US, well-maintained ST3s typically land around $4,500 to $6,500, with late ABS or ultra-clean luggage sets stretching towards $7,000 to $8,000. Project bikes with stale belts and unknown valves sit closer to $2,500 to $3,500. Budget the service, and you still come out ahead. Buy records, not polish, and you get Italian soul that actually commutes. Don't blink. A single-cylinder BMW with expedition roots and everyday reliability is up next. And it just keeps going. Don't miss real-world deals and tight price ranges every week. Throttle the engine and subscribe, ring the bell, and ride with our crew for smart buys. Charging up to number 7, BMW F650 GS. Rotax Thumper. ABS available, honest MPG. The single-cylinder F650 GS is the do-everything, fix-anywhere BMW. The standard model sits friendlier for the street. The Dakar trim adds taller suspension and a 21-inch front wheel for real dirt connectors. Both sip fuel, shrug miles, and keep riders smiling. Not flashy, reliably excellent. The Rotax single is a proven liquid-cooled worker that likes regular oil, clean filters, and long rides. It chugs through traffic without heat drama, cruises highways calmly, then tiptoes on gravel like a mountain goat. Add racks and hard bags, and you've got a budget ADV that feels serious without feeling heavy. Many carry ABS, heated grips, and a charging system that supports real-world add-ons. Pre-buy checks are straightforward. Peek at the water pump area for a telltale weep, a common, manageable service item. Spin the wheels and listen for rear wheel bearing roughness. Turn the bars lock to lock and watch the headstock wiring harness for any stretch or chafe. Confirm the fan cycles, the temp stays steady, and that cold to hot fueling remains smooth. A quiet valve train and a strong battery crank are your green flags. On Dakars, sight the spoke wheels for true after hard dirt use. Value stays sensible if you're patient. In the US, commuter mile 650 GS singles with clean records typically list around $2,500 to $3,500. Dakar trims with taller suspenders, and the 21-inch front commonly brings $3,800 to $5,500, with exceptionally low-mile documented bikes stretching towards $6,000. Luggage, recent water pump service, fresh tires, and a healthy battery mod justify the top of the range. It's a lot of adventure for small money and very little risk. Comfort Missile with legendary smooth speed slides in next. A grown-up rocket that still behaves on the street. Which matters more? Low miles, full records, or a perfect test ride with average cosmetics? Tell us your buy order and why down in the comments. At number 6, Honda CBR 1100XX Super Blackbird. Hypersport speed with civil ergonomics and Honda smooth. That's the Super Blackbird vibe. A missile that treats your wrists, knees, and back with respect. Born to chase top speed headlines, it matured into a mile eater that still feels tight, quiet, and planted at real-world pace. Why is it underrated? The Hayabusa stole the spotlight, the ZX-12 grabbed headlines, and the Blackbird kept doing adult things. Stable chassis, refined fueling, and a cockpit you can sit in for hours. This bike is fast, but not needy. No drama, just thrust and calm. Core virtues land where riders live. The chassis stays neutral in sweepers. The brakes have real bite with fresh pads and lines. And the motor hums at highway speeds with very little buzz. 2 up, it's rock solid. You get that Honda fit and finish, quiet plastics, tidy harnesses, hardware that actually torques and stays there. The shopping checklist is simple. Confirm REG or REC health and clean charging leads. Weak voltage kills batteries and moods. Inspect fairing mounts and grommets so panels fit flush. Listen for a smooth idle. Watch coolant temps in traffic and make sure the fan cycles normally. Stock exhaust and uncut air boxes usually mean a long, easy life. Pricing stays tight if you're patient. In the US, rider grade, well-kept Blackbirds typically land around $4,500 to $6,500. Low-mile stock. Examples with records often bring $6,500 to $8,000, with pristine final-year cream puffs stretching a touch higher. Tasteful brake lines, fresh tires, and documented valve checks justify the top of the range. It's hypersport speed with touring manners at quiet money. Craving a true UJM that just works without drama? Up next is a quiet keeper with iron reliability and everyday comfort. Number 5, Kawasaki ZR7S. Air-cooled 4, true standard, zero attitude. The ZR7S is the bike many of us wish manufacturers still built. Simple, durable, and friendly, with a half fairing that takes the wind sting out of everyday miles. It's the spiritual cousin to the old UJMs, but tighter, cleaner, and easier to own. Why is it underrated? The spec sheet reads, quiet, the silhouette doesn't scream, and that's exactly why it lasts. No ride modes, no complicated electronics, just a stout inline 4, a steel frame, and ergonomics that keep shoulders relaxed and knees happy. It's honest transportation with grin potential. Core virtues show up daily. The engine is under-stressed and cool running. The gearbox is light and positive, and the seating triangle works for city commutes and Saturday loops. Toss on soft bags and it tours. Strip it down and it's a back road buddy. Parts are plentiful and cheap. Before you buy, run a basic checklist. Verify starter output and charging stability at idle and 3,000 RPM. Inspect aged rubber, fuel lines, vacuum hoses, and brake lines. Then budget for braided fronts if they're original. Pop the tank, eye the carbs for cleanliness, And look at the airbox for stock sanity. A smooth idle and crisp off-idle response are your green lights. Prices separate clean originals from rider grade quickly. Across the U.S., solid riders with normal miles typically list around $2,200 to $3,200. Exceptionally clean, low-mile, mostly stock garage finds with records can fetch $3,500 to $4,000. Fresh tires, recent valve check, and assorted charging system push values up. Cut airboxes and mismatched pipes push them down. It's a no-ego standard that just works and keeps working. Ready for a sleeper that eats miles, saves cash, and stays calm at speed? The Modern Manners Sport Tourer is rolling in next. Number 4. Suzuki GSX 650F. Full fairing, do-it-all for unfussy reliability. Think commuter on Tuesday, canyon run on Saturday, and a 3-state ride the next holiday. The GSX 650F is the grown-up middleweight that flies under the radar while checking every box: comfort, value, and durability. Why is it underrated? Because it isn't a GSX-R and never tried to be. The tune is friendly, the ergonomics are human, and the running costs are low. Insurance stays reasonable, fuel economy is solid, and the bike doesn't eat consumables like a track weapon. It's the bike you keep because it keeps saying yes. Core virtues stack up fast. The engine pulls clean from the bottom, revs smooth up top, and pairs with gearing that makes real-world passing easy. Wind protection is decent with the stock screen, excellent with a taller touring shield. The chassis is stable at speed. The brakes feel strong with fresh fluid and quality pads, and the seat-to-peg triangle suits longer legs without folding you in half. Buying smart means a quick, thorough walk-around. Verify REG, rec health, and connector cleanliness. Suzuki. Charging systems love fresh grounds and tight plugs. Check chain and sprocket life. Commuters can be lax and confirm service intervals with receipts. ABS models deserve a proper ABS self-test on the stand. The pump should cycle cleanly without error lights. A smooth cold start, steady warm idle, and linear throttle are non-negotiable. Pricing remains friendly and predictable. In the U.S., commuter mile riders with honest care usually sit around $2,800 to $4,000. Low-mile ABS examples, clean paint, and a tidy service log typically command $4,200 to $5,500. Set up touring bikes with cases, a touring screen, and fresh rubber sit near the top of that window. Avoid chopped pipes and mystery tunes. Pay a little more for stock sanity and documented maintenance. Now we jump to an American V-twin with parts everywhere and real forever value. The sensible Sportster is coming up. Cranking it up to number 3, Harley-Davidson Sportster 883. Air-cooled, rumble, easy wrenching, huge support. This blue-collar V-twin takes a beating and keeps thumping, mile after mile, with zero drama. Why underrated? Internet noise, beginner stigma, and too small for touring chatter. In real life, it's a stone, simple keeper. Belt drive for clean pants. Motor likes fresh oil and not much else. Build it mild, wild, or leave it stock and just ride. Core virtues: belt drive, longevity, low center of gravity, parts everywhere. Stable 2-lane manners, brakes that improve with braided lines, and a gearbox that likes a firm, clean shift. Cruise at 75 with taller pulleys. Add a bigger tank for range. Watch items. Know your generations. Solid mount through 2003, shakes at idle and feels alive. Rubber mount 2004 and newer is smoother on long rides. Carbs need clean jets. 𝐏𝐄𝐑 wants a strong battery and tight connections. Eyeball the belt for rocks, phase, and alignment. Pricing stays sane if you buy with your head. In the US, honest cab riders with service proof earn around $3,000 to $4,200. Clean, low-mile rubber mount 𝐏𝐹 examples bring $4,500 to $6,000. Tasteful upgrades 𝐏𝐄𝐑 value. Hacked wiring does not. Ready for Leader Plus Yamaha pace with real comfort? The Rocket in street clothes is next. Holding the throttle at number 2, Yamaha FZ1, Gen 1, Gen 2. R1 Hard, comfortable ergos, bargain speed. The gentleman's hooligan, torque everywhere, stable at big numbers, quick, civil, and does everything a grown-up rider needs without super sport pain. Why underrated? Not a full-fairing race replica, so spec sheet scrollers pass. Their loss, your win. This is a highway hammer with real-world gearing, a roomy cockpit and suspension that dials to your weight. It tours, commutes, and shreds back roads. One bike, 3 jobs. Core virtues: strong brakes, stable chassis, serious passing power. Gen 1, 2001 to 2005, delivers a carbon, cam-down R1 feel with big mid-range. Gen 2, 2006 to 2015, brings fuel injection, updated geometry, and a sharper top end. Both love fresh fork oil, fresh tires, and a chain that isn't crying. Checks that matter. Gen 1, X-Up, free and moving, carbs sync tidy, airbox unmolested. Gen 2, throttle body balance, charging health, fan cycling in summer heat. All years, silky head bearings, solid shock, chain set right. Values are friendly and tight. In the US, Gen 1 bikes with records list around $3,000 to $4,500. Gen 2, examples with stock exhaust and sensible miles land $4,800 to $6,800. Stock or lightly modded machines with fresh rubber and proof of valve checks deserve the premium. Time for the do. Everything Honda standard, cheap to own, tough to kill, simply right. Join the garage. Riders sharing tools, routes, and bargains. Hit subscribe so you never miss the next sleeper buy or deal scan. The bike that defines greatness. Number 1, the Honda CB919. Fuel-injected UJM. Torque mid-range, stone-reliable Honda. The CB919 is the bike we recommend to friends we actually like. It starts every morning and never begs for attention. No drama, big bore calm, easy speed. Why underrated? No fairing, plain look. Ride it, believe, smooth, compact, and moves right now without living at redline. Bars sit neutral and fueling feels clean and linear when stock. Core virtues: upright comfort, smooth 4-cylinder, low-fuss ownership. Detuned Fireblade DNA with manners. Honda slick gearbox, fueling that stays trustworthy in heat and rain. This rare standard does city, canyon, and light touring with minimal add-ons. Oil, filters, chain, done. Watch points: throttle body balance for glassy idle, charging leads and grounds for age. Exhaust rust at collector seams. Winter bikes can hide it. Check the rear shock for weeping and fork for pitting. Fresh springs and correct sag wake the chassis up. Pricing is consistent and fair. In the US, clean, unmolested Hornets with records list around $3,800 to $5,300. Ultra clean, low-mile examples with stock pipes and recent tires fetch $5,500 to $6,000. Pay for documents, tires, and maintenance, not chopped fenders and loud cans. We chase value, not hype. These 15 sleepers deliver long miles, low drama, and real-world smiles per dollar. Click the next video for live market checks and buyer traps to avoid. Subscribe so you never miss the bikes that save time, money, and sanity. And keep us riding longer with less stress and more fun.